Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. Hmm? I saw this saying somewhere and it really stimulated my mind. What does it mean? It suggests that when people imitate someone, they're acknowledging that that person has achieved something worth copying. Eh? But now the second half of that saying carries the sharper message. That imitation may be flattering, but it can also reveal a lack of originality. Because greatness creates, it is mediocrity that reproduces. You know, the quote is therefore both a compliment to the original and a criticism of the imitator. Every remarkable idea attracts imitators. When someone creates something meaningful, others naturally study it. They will borrow from it and sometimes replicate it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with learning from those who came before us. Every master was once a student, you know. But now there's a difference between learning from greatness and hiding behind it. The mediocre person sees what works. The mediocre person will see what works and they will ask, how can I do exactly what they are doing? Well, the great person will ask, what can I learn from this and what can I create from what I've learned? Two different mindsets, two different approaches. That is where imitation becomes a limitation. You can copy someone's clothes, you can copy their language, their business model, their content style, their philosophy, or even their personality. But you cannot copy the experiences. You cannot copy the discipline, the failures, the sacrifices, and even the internal transformation that produced them. You can't copy that. A copy may resemble the original, but resemblance is not achievement. Now, the second phase, mediocrity can pay to greatness, is particularly important because it suggests that imitation is the highest compliment mediocrity knows how to offer. So instead of producing something worthy of being copied, the imitator borrows someone else's creation. Psychologically, imitation is natural. We learn through observation and modeling. The problem now arises when imitation becomes an identity. Constantly copying others prevent the development of self-trust and originality, because the individual becomes dependent on external examples to determine who they should be. True psychological growth involves moving from who should I become to who am I capable of becoming. Spiritually, imitation can become a form of abandoning your own path. You may admire another person's calling, and you may admire it so much that you forget you were given your own. You were not created to become someone else's echo. You can honor another person's greatness without surrendering your own originality. In short, study greatness, but don't become its shadow. Let imitation be your classroom, not your identity. Let admiration become education. Let that education become understanding. And eventually understanding will become creation. Because greatness is not simply being good enough to be copied. Greatness is becoming original enough that someone else has something worth copying. My people, hail. Hail